In this section, we're going to take a look at notifications and how they can be used to send alert and information to external systems outside of vRealize Operations Manager. In this section, we'll have a look at what are the different types of notifications and what are they used for, how to configure notification alerts, and then finally, how to use a notification to trigger an event in vRealize Orchestrator. In the first video, we'll take a look at what are the different types of notifications in vRealize Operations Manager. We'll see how the different notifications play a role in operations and vRealize Operations Manager as a product, what are the different types of notifications, and what types of notifications are used for different situations. Let's start with what are alerts and notifications in vRealize Operations Manager. So alerts and notifications in vRealize Operations Manager are how we take alerts that have been generated by the system and send them to an external system. This is very useful if we have a centralized alerting system. For example, we have an upstream alerting system that is collecting Snmp traps or emails or alerts from various systems within the enterprise, and we want to centralize alerts into a single place. Or we want to forward alerts onto a system that might do paging emails or pass alerts onto teams to be looked at when they're ready. Now, how notifications are configured is by default no notifications are enabled. Although we have lots of rules and policies in place for alerts, we have to configure both the notification target and then what alerts will be sent as notifications. To start off, let's have a look at what are the different types of notifications and how they can be used for different situations. Under the administration view, we have the Outbound Settings section. This needs to be set before we can configure notifications. Notifications themselves are configured in the content, and the next section will be showing how to configure notifications and how to create them from scratch. For now, let's focus on the Outbound Settings, where we first configure the notification endpoints, and as well as listing the different types of notifications. To start off, let's have a look at the Outbound Settings. The Outbound Settings need to be configured before we can configure any notifications, and this is where we tell VROPS how it will connect to those external systems. If we add or edit a new Outbound Alert instance, we can see here we're asked about the plugin type and an instance name. And here are the different plugin types that are supported out of the box for vRealize Operations Manager, and we'll talk through some of these. Starting from the bottom, we have the Snmp trap plugin. The Snmp trap plugin is a traditional Snmp trap that is sent when an alert is generated inside vRealize Operations Manager. This will be used for a traditional Snmp trap receiver, maybe like CA Spectrum, and can be used to centralize alerts from an Snmp type alert. Snmp type alerts are quite straightforward, and an alert will be sent when an alert is created and as well as a clear alert. After the Snmp trap plugin, we have the standard email plugin. The standard email plugin will give an instance name, and then we configure our SMTP type information the host will be connecting to, how we'll be connecting, and what the sender address will be. For an example, I've already created one earlier on called SNMP plugin. We can see here I provide an SMTP host, a username it will be connecting with and password, as well as a sender email address. To give a bit of an example here, I have some alerts that were generated a few minutes ago inside my mail client, and we can see here examples of SMTP type alerts. We can see alerts have been cancelled or alerts have been created. If I select the alert that's been recently created, we see get the alert definition, the object name, object type, impact, health, etc. This is all the information that comes in the alert. SMTP is a very common way of forwarding alerts onto external systems. And it's also how we'll demonstrate integration with Orchestrator to take advantage of certain and run certain actions based on these alerts. Moving on to have a look at some of the other adapter types. After SMTP, we've also got the Network Share plugin. The Network Share plugin will log alerts to a network share location like a Windows server, and can be used if you're interrogating these alerts with a third-party system that might want to read them from a file system, like a script for example. After the Network Share plugin, we have the REST Notification plugin. The REST Notification plugin will send the alerts in a very similar format to what you've just seen to an external system that's listening via HTTP REST. Here I have an example of what a REST alert will look like. It can be sent in two different types, via JSON or via XML. It's important to know that you can't really configure the alert type, the payload of what goes inside the alert. So the external system that's listening must be able to accept the alert as is and then take action based on that. After we have the REST Notification plugin, we've also got the Smart SAM notification for EMC Smarts. And then finally we have the Log File plugin. The Log File plugin will log these events directly to the file system of the VROP system. If you've got multiple nodes in a VROPS cluster, it's important to realize that alerts will be generated on the node where the object exists inside the FSDB. Therefore, it's not really a centralized location, and it's recommended you use the network share plugin or something that sends to an external system like SMTP or Snmp. Now that we have gone through the different types of notifications in vRealize Operations Manager,